Hey everyone, it's Brandon from Top10Gamer.com, and it's time to start the Build a Gaming PC series again for the end of 2014. Keep that in mind if you're coming here and you're looking at all these PC builds in 2015. Hey, we're still in Q4 2014 here. Usually these builds last a while, but prices, rebates, all those kind of things change. So last time we did this, I brought you builds from $300 to $2,500. This time I thought I'd take it further and start us out with a $200 gaming PC build. Now, if you're in this price range, well, then either you're extremely budget conscious or dirt poor. So if this is your budget, I can help you out. Here's a look at what I'd get if I just had $200 to spend on a gaming PC. Okay, to start, we're gonna have to go with a processor and graphics card all in one. You know what I'm talking about. We're gonna need to do an APU from AMD, and it looks like this month we can get the AMD A6 6400K Richland APU for around $55. It has the HD 8470D graphics, and it should do a pretty good job at running like Skyrim or Battlefield 3 in 720p, or anything like World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Dota, League of Legends, any game like that, Minecraft. You should be able to get functioning in 1080p. So, you know, if one of these games is your main game of choice, then it's perfectly viable to use a machine like this. Okay, for a motherboard, we're going to go with the Asus A55BM-E, which is on rebate this month, $10 off for around $43 to $44. That's pretty good for an FM2 Plus motherboard. FM2 Plus motherboards are PCI Express 3.0 compatible, but it will not be compatible with the APU that you chose. Kind of cool though that you get a motherboard that will also work if you choose to upgrade to a Kaveri APU later down the line. Another nice thing about this motherboard is it supports up to 32 gigabytes of 2133 megahertz RAM, and when we're talking about APUs and shared memory, the faster the memory, the better. You can actually make FPS games if you go with faster RAM, even going from like 16 megahertz to 2133, but keep in mind you're going to pay for that as well. So in this particular build, we're going to stick with 1600 megahertz RAM in the Crucial Ballistics that I found for around $35, just because it's the budget we had. You know, I could go up to some better RAM at around $40-45, but truth be told, at this price range, $5 to $10 difference, that's as much as 5% of our overall budget, and that could be placed somewhere else. I mean, if you had $20 more, you might do this build completely different. So it's important that if you're doing the build, you're just kind of sticking to the build, and if you're spending $250 instead of $200, that you kind of just redo the build entirely. For a case, you want cheap, 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 and more cheap, and even more cheap after that. You want to find something around $19.99 or cheaper, and you want it to be something that's on a $10 or $15 rebate, because then maybe you're getting a $30 to $35 case for around that $20 price point. The one I found this month is I'm going to give you the exact model number here. It's the DIY PC MA08-BK. I chose this one because it's cheap and because it has dual fans and USB 3.0 compatibility. You know, not something you had to have in the USB 3, but the fact that it has all that and it's around $20 and it has a couple fans seems like a pretty good deal to me, considering, you know, a fan itself can cost you as much as $20 if you purchase it after the case. Okay, for hard drive, we're going cheap, cheap here. I like the Western Digital Caviar Blue hard drives. They're very reliable. You can get the 250 gigabyte version for around $25, and if you want to go with the 160 gigabyte version, that's going to cost you around $20. That will help you to stay within the budget, which is really pretty hard at this price point, simply because there's a lot of components to go through. Okay, now it comes to one of the more important parts of the build, and a place where a lot of you will be tempted, especially if you are this cheap, to cut corners. And I'm just going to recommend that you don't do that, because if you do, then you're going to get a power supply that is going to fail and actually take a lot more energy in the process before it does fail. So this month you can get the EVGA 430 watt 80 plus certified power supply. for $30 after rebate, and I highly recommend that you go with something like this. I think if you spend another $5, you can get the 500 watt version of this month. Anyway, get you a power supply that's 80 plus. It's from a reliable manufacturer, and overall will just suit you a lot better in the long term. Okay, that's it for the $200 build. Seems like a pretty good start. I think it's pretty good for the cost and the money that you spend right now. If you spend $15 more, you can get the Kaveri version of this, the what is it, the ASIC 7400K, I believe. But at that price range, I don't think that the amount of money that you're spending really gets you too far. I mean, there I'd be tempted to just go ahead and switch things around. If you had even $50 more, you switch things around to the Pentium G3258 and a dedicated graphics card. So you're kind of on the edge here with $200. You're pushed into getting the APU, which is really not good in too many formats except for the extremely budget conscious or those that are looking to build an HTPC. Hey, have you got questions for me? List them in the comment section below. When I did my last PC building series, I was thinking of building all these for you guys. Let me know if you think that I could build something like this and then just resell it. You actually think that I could get, let's say that I spend, I think this build altogether was $213 if you got the 250 gigabyte hard drive instead of the 160, and if you got the better power supply, you could save $20 if you cut both of those and actually end up in the $192, $93 range. After taxes, you'd still be about, or any shipping costs, you'd probably still be about $200. But let me know if you guys think I actually could build it and then resell it on eBay for the same price. I would love to test something like this and have more numbers for something like this, but the 6400K, the ASIC 6400K, there's very few benchmarks out there. I will link in the description below to a few video benchmarks for games like Skyrim and Battlefield 3. So if you're really curious about this build, you can go there. Other than that, you'll kind of be on your own in terms of benchmarks unless I build it. So let me know what you guys think. Again, questions below or on facebook.com/top10gamer. Also go to top10gamer.com for all of our builds, and we'll see you next time.